everyone. My name is Shanice Brito, and I'm talking to you from Trinidad and Tobago. I want to welcome you on tonight's huddle call starting at 8 p.m. A few house rules. Please keep all phones on silent. Make sure your audio is muted, and we will save all questions likely to be answered, if not in the presentation, at the end of the video. My reason for starting Surge is for discounted travel and also to be able to allow my friends and family to get an opportunity to add an additional stream of income to their daily livelihood. But tonight, you'll hear more about the benefits of the program that I've started. And if you're a guest tonight, I hope that you'll be encouraged at the end of this presentation. I would like to introduce not only my speaker, but my personal coach. This is my upline in the business, and I have tremendous respect for her. She is not only a coach, but she's a servant leader, and she's always there when it is we need her. And trust me, we call her every minute of the day. All right, so I want to introduce to you three-time $10,000 bonus earner. She's also a $50,000 earner, which means that what she's saying tonight, she have already done it. So we should already be taking notes as soon as she starts to speak. She's a six-figure earner in Search 365, and at the end of September, she's closing out the company's car bonus program, which we are all so excited for. And she helps a lot of people. She's having fun doing it. Of course, because she have done it before, she knows 100% of the information. Without further ado, please help me bring on my lovely national builder, soon to be marketing director, Miss Janice Parker. Take it away.
Girl, you are good. You are very good. I cannot wait to get down to Trinidad and Tobago. I want to thank you for an amazing introduction. Family, if you listen to this training, and this training is going to be great, but I want you to listen to her introduction once this training is posted, because Shanice, you just did an amazing job. I want to thank you, number one, for reaching out to me. Number two, for being such a stellar leader down in Trinidad and Tobago. Number three, not only talking the talk, but walking the walk. Not only talking about it, but being about it, but doing, just doing an amazing job just now. And you're so coachable. So I'm grateful for you. Thank you, because they say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Thank you for an amazing introduction, baby girl. Awesome, guys, that was just so phenomenal. So that could be a training all by itself. But we are going to talk about your calendar today. We're going to talk about your calendar today. Once again, for those of you who don't know me, I am National Builder Janice Parker, guys, and coming to you out of the Suffolk, Virginia market today with a conversation about your calendar, because a lot of people want to know how to master their calendar, how to get it done. What does it take to get to the top of the compensation plan? What am I missing? What do I need to add? What do I need to subtract? And we're going to talk about all of that on today. So we're going to talk about the 3 laws, guys, and I want you to make note of these and mentally understand it. It's going to give you a guideline of what activity you really should be doing to be a top producer, okay? You can do less, but you won't produce as much. But if you'll follow these laws and these rules I'm going to talk to you about, it's going to lead you to, that success. So let's start with the building rules, okay? Let's start with the building rules, and then we'll cover the laws. So the first building rule is called the 1/3 rule. The 1/3 rule applies no matter what business, no matter what you do, the 1/3 rule is going to apply. Now, that is that 1/3 of the people that when you're building your total business, no fault of yours, nothing you did wrong, it's just the way it is, but 1/3 of the people that join your business is gonna quit. There's no way to stop them from quitting. Some people are just quitters. It's what they do. Don't take it personal. It may be a disappointment, but just know up front, as you're building, 1/3 of your total team that you're building, 1/3 is going to quit. It's okay. But don't worry. That's just part of it. Because don't worry, another third will incubate, okay? They're going to be on the calls. They're going to keep paying their membership. They may even get 3 and free, but they're going to incubate, and they're kind of waiting on their time. Everybody has timing. So the 1/3 rule means 1/3 are going to quit. Can't stop that. Don't get bummed out. Don't back off. 1/3 are going to incubate. Nothing you do is going to push them They're going to keep coming to presentations, keep coming to trainings, get on the Zooms, come to events, but not really be big builders. But then you're going to have those 1/3 that are going to be huge builders. These people are going to make the top income in the entire company. Just understand, the 1/3 that quit and the 1/3 that incubate, that 2/3, right, is okay. That 1/3 is enough to take you to be more than a 6-figure income earner, more than $1 million earner here in Surge 365. They're going to be big builders. Now, the reason I go over the 1/3 rule first is sometimes people have 3 or 4 big builders in their organization, but they get bummed out when somebody joins and they thought they'd be great. They quit, they don't answer their phone, they go into witness protection. This is not where you're focused on. Get with the person who's getting down for their crown. They're in it to win it. They're on it like an Easter bonnet. That's where you're going to focus your time. That's where those massive producers are. Guys, that's rule number 1. Now, rule number 2 in the building rules is that it's easier to work your business fast than to work it slow. It's easier to work it fast than to work it slow. I didn't understand at the beginning of my networking career. I've heard people say, hey, so I'm gonna set up my first home party 2 weeks from now, a month from now. You know, and in my mind, that's like 3 years now, right? You got to do everything in a hurry in this industry. You don't wait to do anything. Everything happens right now. And it's easier to build your business fast than it is to build it slow. And that's why we set up short, compressed time frames. Like right now we're in our 90-day blitz or a 30-day blitz or a 10-day fast. Guys, we do it in those time frames because we're building our business fast. So the rule number 1 is the 1/3 rule. Rule number 2 is easier to build your business fast than it is to build it slow. But then rule number 3 is you always want to build your business from event to event. Now, event is this conference call. It could be a webinar that's going on tonight, a live event tomorrow. It could be the Super Saturday train-the-trainer that's coming, the national event, the convention. And you build from event to event. You make sure that every event that you attend with more people than you had at the last event. See, those are simple rules. They're not hard. There's no algorithm. There's no math involved. There's no calculus. You know, it's simple. If you follow these, it will really help you to prepare all your business to get to the next level. Now, let's talk about some of the laws. Now, these laws apply, right, no matter what. But these laws, you have to, and I do repeat, have to really focus on you maintain following these laws to build a big business, right? They're an extra benefit to you, okay? So law number 1, to be a big time builder, you must show your business opportunity 4 to 6 times per week. You must show the business opportunity 4 to 6 times per week, preferably in a group setting like a home meeting or travel mixer or travel party. Guys, that's 4 to 6 home parties per week. And I'm going to share with you how to do that even if you're super, super busy, Andrea. I got you. 4 to 6 home parties every week. That is a law. That's law number 1. So we're going to run our whole business and use our calendar to make sure that no matter what, you got 4 to 6 group settings every single week in order to share your business. We're going to follow that law. We're going to apply it to the calendar, work around your schedule. But law number 2, okay? A recruit is not a recruit, okay? A recruit is not a recruit until they are 3 and free. A recruit is not a recruit until they're 3 and free. They've got 3 sales under their belt, you know, whether it's Vortex, Platinum, or the membership. When you've got 3 sales, okay, now you've got an official recruit because they've got checks coming. They may have the fast start bonus coming. They've got, you know, maybe that 150, right? They're on their way to qualifying for that first $1,000 bonus in their first 7 days. And if you guys, that first 30 days, if you're past that time frame, it's okay. We still want to get you your 3, but now they're solid. They're in. They got a check coming, several. They've got 3 separate legs, you know, in the organization, giving you more people that you can help. But remember, your recruit is not really a recruit until they've got 3 sales. And it's your job as a leader to help them get that 3. That's law number 2. Law number 3, and this is the one that took me a minute, but law number 3 says the independent big time leaders, right, that you're looking for, the independent big time leader that you're looking for is 3 to 4 levels deep in your organization. Big time business, that leader is 3 to 4 levels deep. Right? So if you're showing your business 4 to 6 times per week, and we're going to talk about BAM FAM in a minute, and if you're doing it and you know it's your job to keep showing it 4 to 6 times a week, you're going to, fill your calendar up. So once you bring in a new recruit, you're going to understand it's your job to help them get those 3 and free. Then you're going to grab a hold of those people because you're looking for who comes in 3 to 4 levels deep in your organization, which is why you don't get frustrated. You stay focused. Now that we've covered the rules and now we've covered the laws, this is going to come into play as we begin to set up our calendar. Now, let me first talk about the purpose from which you set up your calendar. But before I do that, let's now, does anybody have any questions though before I move forward? Are there any questions so far about the building rules or the building laws so far? Or should I just keep on going? All right, let's see. Let's see. I think I just got a question. Let's see. Now I am recording, Brian. So this recording will be available for everybody. So don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about recording. I'm actually recording, so you're good. And you'll get the recording, and you can download it to your computer. Anybody else with a question? Does anybody else have a question? All right, wonderful. Let's move on. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm providing you with, the time to ask the question should they arrive. Now, the purpose for the calendar and the reason we use a calendar, not just the one on your phone or your tablet or electronic, it has to be a tangible physical calendar. We're going to talk about why in a moment. But the reason you have this calendar is it's the springboard for you to operate your home business from, okay? That's really the purpose of the calendar. Now, again, the purpose is for you to live a balanced life in the other areas of your life. So it's not just your business, right? Be a good mother, be a good father, be a good sister, be a good brother, a good neighbor, to be good at everything in your life, but still be a top producer right here in your business. Does that make sense, guys? Now, sometimes if you don't have something that will keep you focused, your priorities kind of get, kind of screwy. But we're going to talk about and set up today where I'm going to talk about and set up that no matter how busy you are, not even how busy you think you are, that you really have the time to be a top producer. So we're going to talk about that. Now, I want you to get either an at-a-glance calendar, but you want to get a weekly/monthly calendar. Weekly/monthly. Weekly/monthly calendar. And so when you open it up, you're looking at January. You can see the whole 30 days right there in front of you, okay? Okay. So all 31 days. Okay. Okay. All right. So you're going to be able to see that when you open the calendar. Now, when you turn the pages, there are subsequent pages where you have the different days of the week, right? Where you can write different notes in there, and you can put names, calling, who you're calling, what the responses are. But now you know what kind of calendar you need, right? But the first thing I want to do at the very top of the calendar, right, is I put in you want to put in your income goal for the month, all right? So how much money do you want to make for the month, okay? In the upper, right? So in upper right hand or upper left hand corner, right? What you want to make. Now, something that you have to stretch yourself for, but it's realistic, but you got to stretch a little bit to hit it. Does that make sense? It's achievable. The purpose of the goal is to make sure that it's attainable, right? Put your income goal for the month if there's a rank that you want to achieve that month, your total team number, right? How many people you want to add to your business that month, but also what other subsequent things, people you want to develop. How many team builders do you want? How many regional builders do you want this month? You want to put all of that down. So you've got your personal rank, your personal income goal, your total team goal, but then you want to set some goals for your people, right? Like what you want to help them to get. Now, whether it's 3 and free, team builder. Now, so let's talk about, some basics for setting up your calendar. So number 1, you want to plot your life in your calendar. You want to look at your calendar and you want to put in those things that you have to do first. So number 1, you want to set your goal, okay? But then you got to put those things that you have to do. So if you have to work, right, and you work from 9 to 5, right, you've got to put that on your at a glance. But then you've got to put 9 to 5, and then you've got church on Wednesday. You put that in here. You got church on Sunday. If you got choir practice on Saturday, if your daughter or Sunday has soccer practice at 1 o'clock. If you got, does that make sense? You're gonna put in the things that you absolutely positively have to do. These are your obligations, right? So in my personal life, it's kind of all the time, but I remember when I first started, business years ago, you have to have a family night. That may be Friday nights, or a date night. That may be Friday night. That's the time when you're going to spend time with your family, your children, whatever the case may be. So that's not one of those things where you don't have to show up, but it's important to you, right? Like family night. Okay, there's no answering the phone. There's no, you're focused on the family. Church on Sunday, nothing happens from 10 to 11. Bible study on Wednesday, nothing happens. You plot your life first. Plot your life first. Does that make sense? Most people live their life around their work. What we're going to do here, we're going to wrap our work around the life that you already have, so that nothing becomes, there's no shortcoming. You still get the chance to spend time with your family. You still get a chance to, go to the doctor, take your dog for the shots, spend time with your wife, spend time with your husband, your children. But how do you start off plotting your month? You first go in there and plug in there your obligations, right? Plug your obligations in. Those are the things you cannot not do. Then there are things that are important, right? But they're not like you have to show up at a job, but they're important to you. Put those things in. Now, you understand, and we're going to talk about, you got to break out, we got to get these presentations done, the 4 to 6, but however you're doing them, whether it's Zoom webinars, whether it's launch calls, whether it's going to be, travel mixers, you've got to get those done. Those 4 to 6 presentations, you've got to show them 4 to 6 times per week. So what I figured out is how long it takes me to do a presentation. Like if I'm doing a travel mixer, I pretty much have an idea. My goal is to arrive 15 minutes early. Sometimes it's 10 minutes early. But at the time that it starts, we're going to start. So we want to try to get there, set up the computer. A lot of the travel parties I get to, all of that's already done, and that's fantastic. But I want to get there about 1:45 to make sure I've got enough time to set up. Because, guys, one of our champions, she's an attorney. If we'd have started late, right now, it doesn't mean you can't do if I'm running late, because this has happened too. I'm running late. I said to Tanisha, hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Make sure everybody has their travel surveys. They're filling their travel surveys out. But when I get there, it's time to get started. But guys, I know that a home party, hour and a half tops, if I'm bolting in and out, I can get 4 to 6 done per week. But even that person who works, not like Andrea, super crazy busy. But you know what a person that busy can do? They can get 4 to 6 presentations done per week on a Saturday. right? I can personally get 4 to 6 parties done on a Saturday by myself. So if I had nothing but Saturday, and I did when I first started back in the day, guys, I've seen people work just Saturday and outproduce people who had all week and create an income where they can walk away from their job. Just being a weekend warrior. So if you're a weekend warrior, it's okay. Don't feel bad. You can still get 4 to 6 home presentations, group presentations per week, even if you just did Saturday and late Sunday. So now that we've got our life plotted, all of our obligations, the important things, you know that it only takes you about an hour and a half, right, for a travel mixer to get in, get people signed up, and get out, and another half hour to get to the next presentation. You can look at your calendar and you can say, when do I have an hour and a half where I can do a group presentation? Because everything else is already on the calendar, right? So if you slot that in on Monday, like Monday, I know I can't do a 7 o'clock because guess what? I'm in the hotel at the Hyatt, but I could be done by 8:15. So 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I could go do a home party. 8:30, I've done it for the teams in Trinidad. I can start an international travel presentation, but I can pencil that in based on, I can plot that in based on what's going on in my life. So Tuesday, are you open to do a social? Can you do one for an hour and a half? If so, plot it into Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday you have Bible study. Thursday you may be available. Put that down. Write that time in where you can do it. You can do that. Friday, write the time in where you can do an hour and a half. Saturday, you may have time to do 3 or 4 or 5. Now, keep in mind, you don't have the presentation yet. I'm not saying you have it yet. I'm saying that you're going to go ahead and plot it in just like you did your important dates, your obligations. You go ahead and plot them in right now. So if somebody says, okay, can you do a presentation for me? You can go and you can look and say, okay, I've got Monday at 8:30. I can do Tuesday at 7. Does that make sense? Because you've already got the times on your weekly schedule where you can get together to do their presentation. That's the purpose of plotting in when you're going to do your group events. Now, we're going to go deeper, but let's just say you got your 4 to 6 for that week. Now, if you're like me and you're like some of the other people on the line, you're doing more than 6, right? But the minimum number to be a big time player, you're at least doing 4 to 6 group presentations per week. Now, what if, right? Now, you know they're going to take an hour to 2 hours, hour and a half. But what if you're a new team builder? And let's just say you don't have anybody to build under in your team builder group just yet, because that's where you focus 80% of your time. Well, remember, you also focus 20% of your time back over in your Fast Start team. Does that make sense? So just because you don't have it to build in your team builder group yet does not mean you can't book 4 to 6 events. Why? Because here's the thing. Number one, let's just say I'm a brand new team builder and I don't have a whole lot of people in my team just yet. But I can book one for one or two of the 3 of the people in my Fast Start team, because I still need to grow that side, right? Because that's going to be counted towards my car. But by the same token, I maybe want to book 2 or 3 for myself where I'm going to be inviting to my own. But I've got it in my calendar. I've got it where I can see in my calendar the nights that I am available. So I may call 2 of the people in my Fast Start team and go ahead and book it to do the presentation for them. And then I set up, 4 presentations for myself, where I'm going to force myself to start inviting. And I'm going to show you how to start to really fill up your calendar, what we call BAM Fam, in just a minute. So even if you don't have anybody really to book, to book for just yet, book yourself a travel party, travel mixer, and then you go hard at inviting. Or you may have to sit down and do a one-on-one. Maybe you don't have a team yet, but you can get 6 one-on-ones done for a little while until you have enough people to be doing group mixers. So I don't want anybody feeling like, oh, it's just me, so I can't do anything. No, go do one-on-ones. Do what you got to do, but 6 physical Presentations. Now, if you need to show the presentation, if you're in New York and you need to show the presentation to somebody in Texas, get yourself a Zoom account and learn how to do the presentation. But what I'm saying is no excuses. 4 to 6 if you want to play in the big leagues. Does that make sense, guys? And more if you can. So you know they take an hour and a half. You can look at your schedule and decide, when do I have 2 hours available around my life, right? And you go in for all 4 weeks and you plot when you're available. So don't just plot 1 week, plot the whole week. Why? Because you put your life already in there. You've got your family time and important dates in there. You've got your church and other obligations in there. And then you put in all the 4 to 6 slots every week where you're going to do presentation. Got it? Now let's talk about something that is the purpose for you doing a travel mixer, for you doing a social, for you doing a Zoom webinar. Guys, and this enlightened me because I just learned, I just got it like today. The purpose of it doing a mixer, a social, is it to sign people up? No. Now, are you going to sign people up? Yes. Are people going to buy the membership product or the Vortex product? Yes. That's going to happen anyway, but that's not the purpose. The purpose of doing a home mixer, a travel mixer, the purpose is to bam fam. The purpose is to bam fam. The purpose of you doing a home presentation, yes, you're going to sign up new people. Yes, people are going to buy our product. Yes, people are going to sign up on the Vortex. Yes, but, all that'll happen, but that's not your purpose. Your purpose is to book a meeting from a meeting. Book a meeting from a meeting. When I heard, I was like, I gotta have a V8. So let's just say we have a home party at Susie's house. And I'm gonna say, Ed, you've got to, or Susie, you gotta have 10 people. You gotta invite 15 or 20 in order to get 10. Make out a list of who you're gonna invite. We can do it together, or you can do it. Let's talk about what you're gonna say. You introduce them to me. I'm gonna tell them I'm looking forward to meeting them. I may do a verification call, all that stuff. But the reason I'm coming to Susie's house is now that I got it, I'm gonna help her sign up some people. I'm gonna help her sell some product. But I'm going over there to fill up my calendar with more home parties than I got from Susie's one party. I'm going to book a mixer from a mixer, book a meeting from a meeting, book a Zoom from a Zoom. So let's just say 6 people showed up at Susie's event. 2 people said yes. 2 people got started. 1 person came in at a membership. 1 person came in at Vortex Platinum. 2 people right away. But the other 4, guys, I want to make sure that that's not the last time I see them. The last time we see them. We've got to move them to the next level. So if the first 2 that join right away, obviously, we're going to let them know that we need to go ahead and book. They have to book their 3. Let's go ahead with our new people and book their first 3 Zooms, or, if they're in like Trinidad, or first 3 home meetings, whether that, no matter where they are, they're home mixers. You open up your calendar for those 2 people, and we got to book their 3. You already got your calendar plotted out, remember? So you guys want to start doing this tonight. You may have to run to Walmart. But I'm going to say, okay, you know what, Diane, we need to do these 3 parties because I want to make sure that you get paid. I'm going to do the work. You do the invites. Let's get 3 of these so we can get your foundation, get you rolling, get your first check right away. Okay, good? Is that good? Good. Okay. So I've got Tuesday at 7:30. I've got Thursday at 7:30. I got Saturday at 10 or Saturday at 5. 10 a.m. in the morning or 5. Which days work well for you? She says, well, I can't do anything until on Tuesdays. I've got obligation, but I could do Thursday at 7:30. Great. I'll write down that. All right, that's Diane, home party. And then, or she says, I'll take 10 in the morning. She said, my people are up and up real early, so I schedule her for 10 in the morning. And then I said, okay, what about the following Tuesday? Okay, so you got class on Tuesday. Oh, every Tuesday. Okay. Okay, well, what about the following Thursday? Can we do that? Great. Okay, so I schedule her 2 Thursday home parties and 1 Saturday in a 14-day period. The first 3 parties are set. Okay, the other person that joined. So I go and I say, Valerie, okay. All right, so I've got Valerie. I've got Tuesday at 7:30. You see what I'm saying, guys? I'm already got 2. We've got 2 that joined. We've got 6 home parties booked that we created from Susie's one travel party. Now the other 4 people that are kind of, that they're not saying yes right this second, but I want to find out, okay, why didn't you join? One said it looks real good, but my husband has to see this. I said, perfect. How about Thursday at at Diane's house? Why don't you bring your husband and I'll bring some free information for your husband. He can see the presentation on Thursday. I'll give him some information to take with him. Can you be at Felicia's house on Thursday? Diane's house on Thursday? Diane, give her the address. Now, I've got another person coming to see it for the second time. Now, the other person that didn't join, maybe they didn't have the money. I put them off to the side. I said, listen, the fact that you don't have the money, no big deal. If money is the issue, listen, if we get started, the money will find you. All you have to do is a mixer, just like we just did for Susie. I'll do one for you. And I'll bring the applications and the surveys, just like we just did right here. Can you do that? How about this Tuesday? I've got Tuesday at 7:30 open. Oh, you can do that? Great. Okay, so I'm going to coach them on how to invite, what to say. And I've just booked another meeting with somebody that did not join, but I've learned this. Sometimes people have to see this. Some people got to see the presentations 2, 3, 4 times. Will I put them in for $10? Y'all already know. Yes, I will. But my total focus now is to bring in we're going to bring in new people. Yes. We know we're going to sell product. Yes. But I'm going to Susie's house to fill up my calendar with other meetings to help build her business. Does that make sense? I'm giving you an example of scenario of how we do that, how we're going to do that. And it's something I was doing, I'm going back to doing. And when it went off like a light bulb earlier today, this is to show you how to do your home presentations and then make sure that your purpose is to bam them. Book a meeting from a meeting, book a Zoom from a Zoom. Keep your calendar full of events. And if you got them already in there, you can invite the next person that's thinking about it to the other person's presentation. So now, some people have, way more than 10 meetings a week. Some people have way less than 10 meetings a week. Things change, time change. And sometimes, guys, we can do launch calls for people, but it's going to depend on, each person. But even if I want 10 people in the room because I know we can close out 3. But guys, my goal is to help each person, to enroll 2 to 4. For me, forecast 2 to 4 people per meeting. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, right? So but that has to be a number. As you're building your calendar, your goal is to go over to BAM FAM, fill up with presentations, fill up with home meetings, socials, mixers. But during that time, as I'm staring at my calendar, I'm taking note of how many of these presentations do I have per week. I'm also looking at, 5 set up the first week. Now, each one, I'm forecasting that 2 people will get started. Let's just say at platinum. Now, let's just say you want to bonus $1,000 that week. You need 7 of those, right? So you understand that every time you close, 1 point or 2 point, whether it's a membership, vortex, or platinum, but let's just stay with platinum. So you understand that every time you put in 7, right? You gotta forecast your income. So let's just say if you take, $1,000, let's just say you're a team builder and every 7 platinums is going to pay you $1,000. Now you got to forecast your money. You got to understand forecasting your money. So if you took $1,000 and you divided that by 7 platinums, then you understand that so if you're bringing in 7 platinums, and let's just say you say, okay, well, I feel like I can do 1 of every presentation. Okay. Now my goal would be to do 2 every presentation. So every presentation is worth, in this case, $284 to you. Does that make sense? Because every 7 pays you $1,000. So every presentation, you want to forecast it. You look in your calendar and say, okay, let's just say you can say I've got 7 home meetings. I believe I can close 1 every meeting. Okay. Then you understand that every one is worth $142. But if you're one looking to bonus, twice in a week, then you said, okay, I want to close 2 every presentation. Then every presentation, when you're looking in your calendar, is worth $284 to you. Does that make sense? So every week, you bonus twice based on your forecast or your projections. Will it always close out that way? Not necessarily. But you've got to go into your week looking at how much you're expecting to earn that week, forecasting what your money is, and you can determine based on how many presentations you've got booked, what's going to happen with your income. Yeah, does that make sense, guys? So just so you understand that, okay? All right, I just want to make sure that was pretty much clear. Okay, but each event that I have planned in my calendar, the person's name, their address, where they live, walk people through the inviting process, 4 to 6 a week, 7 a week. You're forecasting $200 to $300 per event, or $150 per event. But if you start following this, and the better and better you get at doing this, the better and better your results will get as well. So you gotta hear it over and over. But I'm gonna suggest $200 to $300 per event. Even if you're doing it for somebody else, that's a good, fair estimate, especially if you're working in your team builder group. So if you've got 5 events per week, and you schedule 200 to 300 on the low end, 2 times 5 is 1,000. On the high end, 2 times 3 is 15, 2 times, 300 per, and if that's times 5 is 1,500. So depending on how you're projecting, right? So on the low end, $1,000 a week to 1,500, depending on what your projections are. But you should set a goal to close a platinum a day at least 1 per meeting. Does that make sense? But now you can start to calculate and understand, I've got this many events set up. 4 or 5 people are going to be at each event that I go to. 2 or 3 are going to get started. You're going to keep booking meetings from that meeting. Keep your calendar full. You're going to go to the next person's house. You're going to bring some other people from your previous events with you. Remember, we move as a tribe. See, if your schedule is already packed, you know where you're going to be, so you can invite people to the next presentation you're going to be at. So you're growing your team. All these people know each other because they came from one party to the next party to the next party. That's what we mean by keeping the calendar full, by moving as a tribe. That's how you begin to predict how many of these home events you're going to have and forecast how much money you can earn. But take that same thinking, and we're also going to do launch calls. Now, the purpose of a launch call, and I'm going to do a separate training on that, but it's to help that person in their first 24 to 48 hours before we even get to their party. We'll do it. But a person needs to qualify for a launch call. And here's kind of how you may want to qualify that. They have a sphere of influence. People listen to them. They can say, hey, everybody, we're doing this. And they say, okay. They may have some networking experience in the past and know other networkers or other people. Maybe they have a team and they're coming from another company. If they're a leader in any capacity in their occupation, they're a manager, they're a pastor, they run an organization, shift supervisor, district manager. Those are the kind of people who have a sphere of influence. Maybe they have a previous team, but they're perfect candidates for a launch call because they can fill up a launch call. Now, a launch call is where you have 10 to 12 to 15 people get on a call specifically for them. You pick a goal that you're going to put in for them in the first 90 days for that person. So their goal may be 200. Their goal may be 300 people in 90 days. Their total group, right? So you're going to do that. You're going to invite the people that they embody to have their first opportunity to sit on top of the 100, 200, 300 people that's going to come on the team in the first 90 days. Now, the person inviting them to the launch call wants to give them that opportunity to say yes first. Does that make sense? To be on top of what we're about to do. So they give me the name. I'm going to show you what to say. We're going to record the launch call for that person. But it takes me, I know, 30 minutes, right, to do a launch call. From any one particular launch call, we're going to put in 3 to 4 people. Now, so I look at my calendar and I say, when do I have about 30 minutes to do launch calls? So that's what's going to be plugged in there as well. 2 to 3 to 4 a week. Okay, hopefully more, but you look at your calendar where you've already put everything in. You can say, I got 30 minutes on Wednesday, I've got 30 minutes on Monday, and I can probably do 30 minutes on Sunday evening. Whenever you feel like you can do a launch call, plot it in there, right? Allow that 30 minutes for me or one of your leaders to do it for you. But you're going to put in about 3 to 4 people on average. Sometimes less, but most times more, okay? Now, again, if you're putting in 3 to 4 people in a 30-minute time frame, not everybody can do a launch call. Some people can't invite 10 to 15 to 20 people. It's okay. Everybody, it's all right. But if they want to do one, guys, that's another way. If they've got a sphere of influence, they're already in a supervisory capacity or manager capacity, a lot of times they can do that. So look and see, where can I do 2 to 3 of my launch calls for people that you're personally launching? It may be a new team member that may have somebody. You do it, hey, Janice, can you do a launch call for this person? Can you do a one, I can say, I'm available here, I'm available there. Let's schedule their launch call. But you can take that same average of 200 to 300 per person that join and take that and apply that to how many people you plan on bringing in per launch call. 2 to 4 at a home party, 3 to 4 on a launch call, average. Now, do you see that? So now you're forecasting, and you can add those launch call numbers into the hard party numbers, and now you can see where you're making 1,000, or 500, 1,000, 1,500, a week. Now, if you're not making that per week, it may go back to, okay, I'm not doing 4 to 6 group presentations, which means, of course, the sooner you can get to where you can bam fam, because there are multiple peoples in an event, we just want to hurry up and get there. So now you understand bam famming. How to plug in 2 hours when you got a home party, 30 minutes for a launch call, right? Again, you've plotted your whole month out based on your life, working it around your regular life. You know how to figure out the average, you know, on how many will come in, the average per person you're expecting to earn by helping your team. Now, when you look at your calendar, you can look at week 1. I have the ability to make $500 this week. Okay, you just got to put the people in there. Week 2, week 3, week 4. So now you can literally look and tell that if you actually host all these events in here that you've plotted, guys, here's what you can expect to make this month. But you take that same number, and let's just say you had 8 people in your team. Well, let's just say 4 people in your group. We teach them the exact same thing. You teach them what you're learning right now. Not only do you have 4 to 6 per week that you're doing, okay? But you got 4 other people that have 4 to 6 presentations they're doing in that same week, right? That's 24 home presentations going on in your organization in 1 week, and you're only doing 6 of them. Or it really is actually like 30. Now, you teach 8 people to do the same process. Now, those same 8 people are doing the same thing. So if you keep the repetition of this going, do you understand? Get good at following a calendar, following the rules, following the laws, projecting, and really utilizing your calendar. Pretty soon, you can see where you can have hundreds of home travel mixers going on per week, even though you're only doing 4 to 6, because you're teaching. But everybody has to abide by the laws, abide by the rules, showing it 4 to 6 times. I don't care if you're sitting down having to do a one-on-one. You don't back off your week, right? Tell somebody, listen, I don't care. I need to come over and show you this. I don't care if you say no. I've just got to show this 4 to 6 times a week. You may like it. May not like it. Maybe you can show me somebody who does. I just got to get 4 to 6. You just got to be doing it constantly every week. It only takes an hour, hour and a half. Everybody has enough time. Even if you press play on a presentation and let the presentation do the work for you. Now I'm going to pause. Okay. We've covered the laws. We've covered the rules. We've covered how to plot your life. We've covered how to put your important dates in there, put your 4 to 6 appointments in there before you set them. We've talked specifically about how to bam fam, and that's key. And now you notice when you put it in your mind that I've got to do 3 to 6 home presentations, 4, 6 home presentations a week, you've got to at least host 3 yourself. You teach people how to book their first 3, tell them they just host it, you're going to do it. You let them book their 3 in your calendar. The reason you pick 3 is because sometimes stuff comes up that you can say, no worry, I got another one this weekend. That's what they can say. And then the people that came from the last time can join them at the next one. And that's why it was like 3 booked in a very, very short period of time. We don't need a month or 3 weeks or 2 weeks in between. So they can invite the people that came for the last one to the next one. The people that didn't make it to the last one, it's okay, I got another one. Then we got that 3rd one set up. Somebody was out of town and they couldn't be there. But pretty soon by that 3rd event, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Any questions thus far? Because we're rolling straight into the next training at 9 o'clock, and we're covering a lot of information. So any questions? I want to make sure I bring a lot of value to you. But here's something else real quickly. As I'm developing my calendar, there are some things that I want to put down. The first 10 days of every month, guys, the first 10 days of every month, you want to be in massive exposure. Massive exposure, massive. I mean, you want to be calling a whole bunch of people, getting people on our new website, calling from a list. You've got a systematic way of getting the word out. You've got people, on Zoom webinars. Now, the second 10 days, right? You're getting people, people that came to a home party, getting them signed up or getting them to a bigger event or getting them on a webinar or following up and following through. Whatever the next step is, that second 10 days, you're connecting dots, right? This person came to this, they didn't come to that. That search tracking sheet on searchchampions.com, Juliet's tracking sheet, but you're putting people in your pipeline. Track them. Massive exposure in that first 10 days. Second 10 days, all that exposure, who's yes, who's no, who's maybe, what's the next follow-up step for those people? And then guys, those last 10 days, right? You want to close strong. Now that's right, because that dictates the next month starting off strong. First 10 days, massive exposure. Second 10 days, connect the dots, follow up. Last 10 days, close strong, getting an answer, getting them set up, getting their 3 travel parties booked, getting them their first 3 right away. Maybe we do a launch call. Whatever it is, guys, remember the rule. It's easier to work your business fast than to work it slow. We do everything fast. And when you move fast, your team move fast. But now you want to also, and make sure you go through in your calendar and make sure you plot the company events. Like we've got the level up call on Monday night. We've got the Monday weekly meeting here in Hampton Roads. On Sunday, we've got the 8 o'clock and the 9 o'clock. It needs to be in your calendar. We've got the fast start training, and most of you know the events because I post them. Put them in your calendar, plot them into your calendar so that you're not booking something over that unless you have to. Now, there may be some times where somebody wants to do a home party at the exact time of a Saturday training. So you may forego the training on that day, but if you know the event, right? If you know the event is being recorded, then go ahead. But you don't want to just be booking over events. So you got to make sure all of those things are plotted throughout your calendar. Also track, guys, where you are on your $1,000 bonus, where you are on getting the team builder. Every single day, you should look in there, and inside of each little square in your calendar, you need to know the number that you can see of any patterns of where is the bulk of my team growing at, or you want to be looking at whether or not I need to speed up. Am I going fast enough? Am I going too slow? You should be able to look in your calendar and see based on how things look through the 7th of the month, through the 10th of the month. You know, you need to be looking daily to see, am I tracking or do I need to pick up the pace? So at the end of the month, go back and look at, okay, who are my starting 5? Who had the most new sales during the month? Maybe it was John, and then Beverly was second, and then Paul came in third, and Nikki came in fourth, and then Ed came in fifth. I don't know. But guys, then you want to write 5 circles right beside them, okay, and then call them and ask them, okay, who were your top 5? Because you want to keep, so you know who your starting 5 are, but then you need to know who your team's starting 5 is. So then you ask them, who was your starting 5? Paul, who was your starting 5? Mark, who was your starting 5? Beverly, who was your starting 5? And so you want to write those names down so that you know who are your up-and-comers in your entire organization. So I know my starting 5. I'm going to find out who your starting 5 is, okay? This is going to help us kind of see who's doing what. But you're managing it all where? Inside of your calendar. Inside of your calendar. So family, listen, I pray that this has brought some value to each of you. We are 3 minutes before the next conference call. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this recording. I'm going to end this recording, guys. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to be ready to start the next part of our presentation. And we're going to have one of you superstars do the intro for that. So let me stop this one, stop the recording. And what we'll do, guys, is we'll make this available